Hello, future engineers, subscribers, viewers, and students. There is a video in Integral Calculus 3 Part 2, and this is devoted to the solutions to sample problems on mass moment of inertia of common solids. So, problem 1, derive the mass moment of inertia of a solid sphere with respect to A, its geometric axis, and B, an axis tangent to its surface. So for part B, we use the transfer formula for mass moment of inertia, which is moment of inertia with respect to the centroidal axis plus mass times distance square, distance of the parallel axis square. So we have to draw the figure. This is the figure here. So this is a semicircle, but considering the strip in the first quadrant, double it and revolve it about the x-axis. The x-axis or the y-axis will be the geometric axis of this sphere. Then it addresses the mass moment of inertia of a sphere with respect to its geometric axis. So considering horizontal strip, the length of the strip would be x, or distance of the point on the arc of a circle from the y-axis is x, and the distance of the horizontal strip, every element of the horizontal strip from the x-axis is y. So this is r, and by Pythagoras theorem, x squared plus y squared equals radius square, which is also the standard equation of a circle with center at the origin, and that is derived by Pythagoras theorem only for this case. So we begin with moment of inertia because this is cylindrical or cylindrical shell. Then the formula would be constant distance square, integral of constant distance square, which is y square in this case, times the differential mass, which is density, times the differential volume of this cylindrical shell, which is, you were trained in the lecture part as density times the differential volume is, because this is a rectangular plate, the length of the plate is circumference 2 pi y, then the height or length is x, and the thickness is dy. So that is I with this mass moment of inertia with respect to the x-axis is 2 times, then we have the constant distance radius of gyration square y squared, and the density times differential volume. The differential volume is circumference 2 pi y, height x, and the thickness is dy, limits from 0 to r. So simplifying, that's 4 pi density integral of y cubed times x dy, and we replace x by square root of quantity r squared minus y squared. So we put, with our experience in integral calculus, we put this as constant r sine theta. We put the variable y as r sine theta. And the differential is r cosine theta d theta. We then draw a right triangle defining sine theta equals opposite y over hypotenuse r. And we note that this is square root of r squared minus y squared, which is simply r cosine of theta. And when y is lower limit 0, 0 over r is still 0, arc sine of 0 is 0. So the lower limit is 0 when y is equal to upper limit r, r over r is 1, and arc sine of 1 is equal to pi over 2. So the limits would now be 0 to pi over 2, and we replace y cubed by r cubed sine cubed theta. This radical here is r cosine theta, and differential of y is r cosine theta d theta. So I, with respect to the mass moment of inertia of the sphere with respect to the x-axis, would now be 4 pi, then times density integral 0 to pi over 2 y cubed r cubed sine cubed theta, square root of r squared minus y squared is r cosine theta, then dy r cosine theta d theta. So we put r to the fifth before the integral sign, and we apply Wallay formula for this case because the limits are from 0 to pi over 2. So 4 pi rho r to the fifth integral of sine cube theta cosine square theta d theta. From Wallay formula, the first entry would be 3 minus 1 or 2, and we stop at 2. Then because from Wallay formula, it is m minus 1 first, then m minus 3, decreasing by 2 until we end up at 1 or 2. But we stop at 2 already. So 2. Then for this one, 2 minus 1 is 1. We also stop. The value of alpha is 1 because we have an odd exponent for sine. Remember, when both m and n are even, then alpha is pi over 2. But in this case, it's 1. The denominator is the sum of the powers. 5, then decrease by 2. So 5, 3, then minus 2, 1. 5, 3, 1, the denominator. We stop at 1. So 4 pi density r to the fifth, then times quantity 2, then 1, then alpha is 1 over 5 times 3 times 1, as explained earlier. So therefore it is 8 pi rho r to the fifth over 15. So 8 pi rho r to the fifth over 15, and we set up the volume of the sphere. So we make this 2 fifths r squared and quantity density times 4 thirds pi r cubed. And we note that 4 thirds pi r cubed, the volume of the sphere, multiplied by the density, this will be the mass of the sphere. So therefore, the mass moment of inertia of a sphere is 2 fifths mr squared. And that is also mass moment of inertia with respect to the y-axis, and in general, the centroidal mass moment of inertia of a sphere. Then for the moment of inertia with respect to a tangent surface here, then the distance between that axis and the geometric axis of the sphere is r. Then apply transfer formula, which is I with respect to any axis is equal to moment of inertia with respect to the centroidal axis plus mass distance square, and distance is r in this case. I barred is also 2 fifths mr square. So I sub t is 2 fifths mr square plus m times r square. Therefore, with respect to the tangential axis, the mass moment of inertia is 7 over 5 mr square. So that's it for this problem. So for the second problems, I call this problems 2 because there are 3 sub problems. So derive the mass moment of inertia of a solid cylinder with respect to its axis, and we use this as our guide in deriving formulas for moment of inertia where the differential element looks like that of a solid cylinder, or for disk, even with a hole or disc or washer. So B, solid right circular cone with respect to its axis, and C, slender bar of mass m and length L with respect to an axis perpendicular to its length through its centroid. So for the various elements, so let's consider this rectangle first. If the rectangular area is revolved about the y-axis, it will generate the solid right circular cylinder. Now for the uh, differential element, because we begin with that, we have to consider first an axis parallel to a strip, rather parallel to the axis, because we don't have yet an expression for moment of inertia of volume or mass moment of inertia with respect to an axis where the strip is perpendicular to it. So we'll just consider this vertical strip. the height is h, the thickness is dx, and its radius of revolution would be x. And you can set up also the differential volume by Pappus theorem if you want. So it is area, which is dx times h, then 2 pi x. So for the meantime, let's have Iy equals integral of constant distance square, which is x squared. The differential volume is circumference 2 pi x, height, which is h, thickness, which is dx. And I hope that you already mastered that, because as of now, if you still cannot master it, uh, I consider you as you're still weak in math. And it's not good if you proceed without understanding the basic concept. So constant distance square, x squared, and density times differential volume. Again, this looks like a rectangular plate. The length of the plate is circumference, which is 2 pi x. Then the height is constant at h, the thickness is dx. So it's like length times height times thickness, differential volume of a rectangular plate, which is actually this differential volume of this cylindrical disc. Or if you use Pappus theorem, the differential area is height times thickness, area of the rectangular strip, h times dx, which is that. And the distance traveled by the centroid is 2 pi times radius of revolution, which is x. 2 pi times radius of revolution, which is x. So factoring out 2 pi rho times h, then we have integral of x cubed dx. It's easy to evaluate the integral. It is x to the fourth over 4. So IMY equals 2 pi rho h integral of x cubed dh. So that's 2 pi rho h x to the fourth over 4 from 0 to r. Substituting, then it is pi rho h r to the fourth over 2. Then breaking this into r squared times r squared over 2 times density pi r squared h. And noting that density times pi r squared h is mass of the solid cylinder, density times volume. Therefore, the mass moment of inertia of a solid cylinder with respect to its geometric axis is 1/2 mr squared. So that's also the guide in evaluating the moment of inertia of a disk, because a disk is like this cylinder here, solid right circular cylinder that is hammered into plates, and the height would be the thickness of that plate, right? So for part B, we have a cone, so we need a right triangle with base R, height h, and this time, because we already know the differential moment of inertia of a disc or a cylinder that is hammered into plate from this result here, then I'll have to consider horizontal strip. If you want vertical strip, then do it as an alternate solution. But I'll just use this to have this used. So it's the application of this result. So 1/2, the mass is the density times differential volume, which is pi x squared, the radius is x, times thickness dy. Then 1/2 integral of differential mass, then radius square is still x squared. So IMY equals integral from 0 to h, it's y, that is the variable here, of 1/2 differential mass radius squared. The radius of the disk is x. So we have IMY equals integral 0 to h of 1/2 rho times pi x squared dy. This is the differential mass density times the differential volume of the disk, pi radius squared thickness, and radius is again x squared. So putting rho pi over 2 before the integral sign, then we have integral 0 to h of x to the fourth dy. Replacing x, expressing x in terms of y, and we can do that by similar triangles here. X as to h minus y equals r as to h. Then x to the fourth is r to the fourth over h to the fourth times quantity h minus y to the fourth. So rho pi over 2 quantity integral 0 to h of r to the fourth over h to the fourth quantity h minus y to the fourth dy. So if you put u be h minus y, the differential is negative dy. So this is in the form negative of density pi r to the fourth over 2h to the fourth integral, so negative integral of u to the fourth du. And that would be, by power formula, h minus y to the fifth over 5. So density pi r to the fourth over 2h to the fourth. Then we have integral, so quantity h minus y to the fifth over 5 from 0 to h. So that would be, when we have upper limit 0, then minus lower limit, so it's negative. Negative times negative is positive. So that would be rho pi r to the fourth h to the 5 over 10 h to the fourth, which is simplified to density times pi r to the fourth h over 10. Then take note that the volume of the cone is pi over 3 r square h. So we put that, and making sure that the result is still the same. So that's why I multiplied 3, because we divided 3 here. And take note that this rho pi r square h over 3 is the mass of the right circular cone. Therefore, the moment of inertia with respect to the y-axis, the geometric axis of the cone, is 3/10 mr square. So that's the moment of inertia of a solid right circular cone with respect to its geometric axis. Then letter C, let's have in general here, inclined, the angle that the bar of length L makes with the horizontal is theta, and therefore if the distance from this end to the differential element, this blue one with mass differential m, is x, then in terms of x and theta, this distance is x sine theta for this right triangle, and the horizontal distance is x, or horizontal projection is x cosine theta, and the differential length is dx here. So I, with respect to mass moment of inertia with respect to the x-axis, this is horizontal, so x-axis, through the end, I call that IMXE, is integral of constant distance square, which is in this case x sine theta square, then differential mass. And the differential mass, this differential mass here is density times differential volume. Now the differential volume is simply cross-sectional area, which is A times length differential x. So I, mass moment of inertia of this bar with respect to the end parallel to the x-axis, horizontal, integral 0 to L, constant distance from centroid of differential mass to that axis there is x sine theta, quantity square, that's constant distance square. Differential mass is density times differential volume, and the differential volume is that constant cross-sectional area of the bar times differential length dx. So we put everything before the integral sign, the constants such as rho, a, and sine squared theta, then integrate x squared dx. The integral of that is x cubed over 3. So IMXE equals rho a sine squared theta, quantity x cubed over 3 from 0 to L. So therefore, it is equal to rho a sine squared theta L cubed over 3. And we factor rho a L. We break L cubed into rho a L and L cubed into L and L square. So that would be density AL, quantity L square sine square theta divided by 3. And we can write this as L sine theta quantity square. So take note that density times length, area cross-sectional area times length is the volume of the bar. So times density, that's the mass of the bar. So 1/3 mass quantity L sine theta square. And when theta is equal to 90 degrees, so that means the bar would be perpendicular to the axis through the end, then sine 90 is 1. The mass moment of inertia, therefore, with respect to the end is m 1/3 ml square. So 1/3 ml square. Likewise, when we consider moment of inertia with respect to this axis here, vertical axis, the constant distance is x cosine theta. So I MYE is equal to integral of quantity x cosine theta squared, then differential mass is density times differential volume A dx. Then the result would be equal to rho A cosine square theta, then integral of x squared dx, which is x cubed over 3 again. And therefore, the formula would be rho A L times quantity L square cosine square theta over 3. And it is 1/3 of mass L cosine theta square. But when this is the general formula, if the bar makes an angle of theta with respect to the horizontal. Now, if theta is 90 degrees, cosine 90 is 0. So that means mass moment of inertia of a bar with respect to its longitudinal axis would be 0. And that's known. So any slender bar, the mass moment of inertia with respect to its longitudinal axis or with respect to its axis along the length is 0. Then finally, we derive the centroidal mass moment of inertia of a bar by transfer formula. So I sub E equals I bar plus mass distance square. So that if the bar is made perpendicular to its end, then the parallel axis through the centroid, centroidal axis through the centroid, perpendicular to the axis of the bar, and the axis perpendicular to through the end and perpendicular to the bar would be L over 2. So D is L over 2. This is equal to 1/3 ml square. So 1/3 ml square equals I bar x plus m times distance L over 2 square. So 1/3 minus 1/4 is 1/12. So the centroidal mass moment of inertia of a bar with respect to its axis perpendicular to the length of the bar is 1/12 ml square, but along the axis through the centroid it is also 0, just like this. So that's it for this video.